I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. Hi, welcome to Learning for Life in UK test part 569 by doing ECU tendon training. And if you participate in the ECU tendon training, that's your honest, so we're training the tendon, the outside of this. But mainly for the Learning for Life in UK test, we're already at take 6 or 7. We're trying to list down what we learned about the comedy in Britain, the films, the theatres, and the television and the radio. And we'll all together more or less chronologically together how it belongs. And we haven't made any notes, and in this book that is about multiple pages, so it's a bit complicated. We're trying it again. I'm talking to a second camera where we try to have it all in a separate video. Films, television, radio, and comedy. Now, what was it? Films, television, radio, and theatre. We never mentioned comedy, and we're not going to do it. Films, television, radio, and theatre. Films, television, radio, and theatre in Britain. Already during the medieval times there were jesters. And these jesters, they were at the royal court by the nobility and the monarch, the king and queen. And they were telling jokes, and they were making fun of people to the amusement. Then William Shakespeare, he was an author, and he wrote plays, so theatre plays. And in his plays he wrote about kings and queens, sometimes fictionalized and dramatized. He also wrote about ordinary men and women. The important part, he included in some of his works comic characters, so which were funny. And then in the 18th century, it became popular to attack politicians in a satirical way, so to make fun of them, and also the monarch and the royal family. In the 1840s, there was The Punch, a satirical magazine doing exactly that. And there's, for example, The Private Eye. The Private Eye, and that is today a satirical magazine. During the 19th century, so 1800 something, there were Gilbert and Sullivan, and they were writing also comic operas. For example, HMS Pinafore, or Pirates of Penzance, or The Mikado. And then in 1896, the first movies were shown publicly in Britain, and they became very fast popular. Then there were people like Morecambe and Weiser working in music halls, British music halls, and that is a form of variety theatre. And they then switched over to television in the 50s and 60s, when television became the main source of entertainment in Britain. And then they were doing their comedies. Comedies of the 15s and 60s are, for example, the Carry On movies, or The Ladykillers, or Passport to Pimlico. And in 1952, there started in London's West End, which is also called the Theatreland, Dame Agatha Christie's The Mousetrap. And that is the theatre play, the play having the longest run since its initial run. And there are also, more in the recent time, musicals done, for example, by Baron Andrew Lloyd Webber and Sir Tim Rice, Jesus Christ Superstar, Evita, Cats, or The Phantom of the Opera. Now, when in the television, they developed situation comedies, sitcoms, and they were oftentimes set at workplace or in family situations. And then in the 60s, there was, for example, that was Week with Wars, a format running, or then later in the 80s and 90s, Spitting Image. And in 1969, Monty Python and the Flying Circus started to make a progressive form of comedy, and also stand-up comedy is in Britain sometimes used. And there are movies like the Harry Potter franchise and the James Bond franchise from Britain, who are two of the highest grossing film franchises in the world. And there are actors. For example, Sir Lawrence Oliver, or Sir Rex Harrison, David Niven, or Richard Burton. And also there are actors who won the Academy Awards, the Oscars. And the British equivalent to the Oscars is the BAFTA. So people who have won the Oscar, for example, are Sir Anthony Hopkins, or Colin Firth, Tilda Swinton, Kate Winslet, or Dame Judi Dench. Now, and there are different types of television channels in the United Kingdom. And there is a wide variety of programs running. And there are even some for specific parts, specifically of the United Kingdom. there are in Gaelic, a different language from English, some television channels for Scotland, or in Irish Gaelic for Northern Ireland, or in Welsh there is one for Wales. And there is the BBC. That is the largest broadcaster of the world, the British Broadcasting Corporation. And they have also radio channels. And on radio channels in the United Kingdom, there are different genres running. There are, for example, radio channels just for one music genre. And that all is according to the Life in the UK test handbook on several pages, for example, 91, 92 and 93. Now I don't know, did I skip something which I wanted to have included? I think that it was intended to end with a genre. I said we're not going to do the TV. I didn't say it about Coronation Street in the East End, but I named enough. It is just Private Eye, not Private Eye, just Private Eye. I think I named almost everything which I wanted to name. I wanted to name Coronation Street in the East End, but that's okay. So I'm going to stop the camera. And we have our video just for these 4 things. So what we can do now, the EUC 10 exercising or training. And we have a little time to do more, but my voice has not done enough. So in the next video we will look properly for the UK landmarks and start to prepare a video where we will talk one by one about all these UK landmarks listed here. If you're just here for the UK landmarks, you can go directly to the next video. If you're here for the ECU extensor carpal navis tendon training, then you can participate in that. But it is at your own risk if you do so. We are having a good still stance, and we're having the arms next to us, hands formed to fists, and we're doing the flat gate. Bring the fists down and hold it for 1 2 seconds. And bring them up and hold it for 1 2 seconds. And take them down. And up. And take them down. In the original planning last time down, we were thinking about including the prompts when we were naming the BBC, but I think it's alright not to do it. Next exercise, the counterfight money check. Hands next to us and we bring them up and down. We're having 3 rules again up. The first one is we're stopping immediately as soon as there's pain. Again up. The second one is we're going only as fast as we can go with a little bit of effort. Last time up. So if this exercise causes too much effort, then don't do it. And the third rule is you're not overdoing it. You just want to strengthen, not to exhaust. So I'm using for the following exercises a tennis racket. A tennis racket is pretty light, just around 300 grams, but it has a long lever. So choose a dumbbell or whatever weight you use according to our 3 rules. The manikineko. Have the arm in, hold the arm, and go slowly to the side. And out of your side. So make sure that you stop immediately as soon as there's pain. That you go only as fast as you can go with a little bit of effort, and that you're not overdo it. Not overdoing it. You're not overdoing it. And this was the last time. And now with your hand. And the last time over. Next exercise. Now with the long arm out, hold the upper arm and go just to the side. And back. the last time. Now same thing with a smaller. Take the lower arm again and go just now. And last time. And the pantomime that you wanted to mention. And to yourself. And the last time. So skip this one. No last time. Now take the racket from the top and lift up and come. Back and come. And again up. Over. Back. Now from with the palm of the hand upwards and come up. And again. And back. And again up. Over. So let's do that. No, we ended. It's not important. We just changed it a couple of times. And come up again. With your arm up. Over. And begin. And down. And again up. And over. Back. And up. Palm of the hand upwards. Arm up. In. Back over. And down. And last time. Up. Over. Stop. Back. And the last two exercises, you can also use the towel, a t-shirt, whatever. And you take it and you press onto it with good force, not too much. And then you bring your wrist up. And down. Again up. And last time down. And then you're pressing down. Again up. Down. Up. And the last time down. And the last exercise, just press with good force onto it. Also the other side, and just. And that's mostly ECU training, ECU training. I thank you very much, and until next time.